In this video, let's discuss about the first system that is present in animals, that is our nervous system. So every system in a living body consists of cells. And which is the basic cell of a nervous system? It is the neuron. So neuron is the basic cell of a nervous system. Apart from neurons, is there any other cells that is present in a nervous system? Yes, there are. They are called as glial cells. So basically, there are two types of cells that is involved in a nervous system, that is the neuron and the glial cells. Here both have different function. If we consider a nerve is like a thin wire which is consists of bundles of neurons and glial cells. And if we are considering a nerve, the central portion of a nerve or the wire, as we see a cable wire in our home, the central part contains a copper thing. That is really the neuron or neurons. And it will be having some insulation so as to prevent any of the damage. And this insulation is made by the glial cells. So, neurons are seated always deep into the glial cells, so that the neurons, which are the conducting cells, never get damaged. Basically, in humans, once the number of neurons are formed from the birth, that is from the embryonic stage, this cell's number doesn't change. They never divide and forms new neural cells. That's why when some patients or some person met with an accident, and if some part of his brain get damaged, the whole part of the body get paralyzed. They won't be able to move. Why so? Because that neurons are got damaged and there is no formation of new neurons in that region. That's why this part gets paralyzed. And so, to protect these neurons, which are precious as there are only limited number, they are always insulated by the glial cells, and both of them together form the mass of nervous system. And when we consider individual cell, the structure of a neuron is you have studied, it is the largest cell in human body, and it consists of basically 4 parts. It is having a cell body which is having a different shape, and it is a stellate shaped cell body. That is a star-shaped cell body. And this star-shaped cell body is having a nucleus, as every cell have, and having small granules in them. So it has a controlling nucleus and small granules which are called as Nissel's granules. And these granules are having RNA or protein, and their functions is really to convert some disturbances that is caused to electrical impulses that we will deal later. So then, from the cell body, there are small hair-like structures or projections to all parts, and these hair-like extensions are called as dendrites. Really, their function is to catch up all the disturbances or impulses. What will be an impulse? Impulse is an electric disturbance. That means when I am touching my skin, somehow I can feel it. And how can I feel the touch? It is because whenever I am touching, there are some dendrites in the skin surface. And these dendrites get an electrical change. Like positive turns to negative, or sometimes negative turns to positive. Usually it is like negative turns to positive. And this is really transmitted through the cell. And so there is some electrical changes as we switch on. There is a change that is really transferred to a fan like that. When we are touching, there is an electrical change, and this electrical change or impulse is carried out by these dendrites. They collect these impulses and they move it to the cell body and is transferred to a long dendrite. And this long dendrite is called as an axon. And this axon is ending with several branches, and the end of the branches will be usually having a knob and is called as synapse. Synaptic knob. And this structure is the axon, which is really carrying that electrical disturbance from the cell body to the next cell. But where is the next cell? Next cell will usually be located like this, an end-to-end connection. And this axon body is protected by some insulators. Again, here are some insulators. And this insulation is called as this sheath. That covering is called as myelin sheath. And usually this sheath is formed by different types of cells, and these cells are called as Schwann cells. So, this is the structure of a neuron. And sometimes in between these myelin sheaths, we could see the gap of an axon. And this gap is called as node of Ranvier. So, we have seen the structure of the basic cell of a nervous system, that is the neuron. And neuron basically consists of a cell body which contains nucleus and small granules called as Nissel's granules. The Nissel's granules are really converting the electrical changes into like there are some disturbances. That disturbances are changed into electrical signals by Nissel's granules. And the disturbances are collected from all the sense organs. What are our sense organs? Eyes helps in vision. Then olfactory cells in the nose that helps in smell reception. Then there are cells in the ears which helps in receiving sound. Then which is the largest organ? Skin, which receives all touch impulses. And there is tongue for tasting. These are the parts really collecting whatever external stimuli is into the body. So from these sense organs, the dendrites collects the information, disturbances, and take it to the cell body, where the disturbance is converted into an electric charge or an impulse, and this impulse is carried through the axon and is distributed to the synaptic knobs, where these knobs will be having some chemicals or vesicles, chemical containing vesicle, which usually is released when an impulse reaches this end, and this chemicals is transferred to the new nerve ending, that is the dendrite end, and this new dendrite end take up these impulses and is taken to the next cell body. So this is how really nerve context an impulse, and this is the structure of a basic cell of nervous system, that is our neuron.